Hi there, my name is Nick. During the past 4 years, you've probably seen me here on YouTube doing a wide variety of different videos on different subjects. My main goal has been to try and perpetually search for the truth within the areas as I've been speaking about. Sometimes I confess that I've let my own prejudices get in the way, but I am just human. And as such, I have made a few mistakes. And sometimes I've even made a few enemies. This is something that I'm actually quite sorry for, because it was not really my intention to create enemies or generate animosity in one form or another against myself, or indeed against the subjects that I was talking about. The original goal, apart from maybe the commercial aspects of being online, was to try and find a way of exploring some ideas, trying to get perspective and to give perspective. I believe that in some ways I've succeeded, but I've also failed in many different ways. And for this I wanted to essentially give a formal apology. I've been thinking long and hard as to how I'm going to rewrite this particular channel. Not the way it used to be. I think that some of those videos should stay up. Maybe they should all stay up, because they're all talking to different crowds, different individuals, people who have different ideas. And it's there for people to think about, to stimulate discussion, or maybe to help people to criticize some of their own points of view. But what of me? What of Nick Dutch? The man that you've maybe come to like, to hate, to admire, or to laugh at? What am I doing now? And where am I taking this life of mine? That basic drive to try and find the truth, it's still with me. And I try these days to apply it to something which is very commonplace. It essentially matters of the heart. A question of the basic emotions of love, affection, and also interpersonal relationships. This is something that my work has essentially brought me closer to. I've always had a probably overdeveloped sense of care for people who are suffering. And when I'm doing my work, that instinct can truly come to the fore. But although I don't want to leave my past behind entirely, especially my spiritualist, occultist side, I think it's essential to bring my own personal message down to the subjects, and some might even argue the level, which is required by the vast majority of human individuals out there. Out of all of my years of life, which have been diverse, culturally diverse in terms of work experience, diverse in terms of the things that I've seen, and the things that I've heard, and the things which I've experienced, I've managed to gain rather a lot of wisdom. A lot of it was through making mistakes. Mistakes that I would rather that no one would make again in the future. Maybe this is why I find some subjects of conversation a little difficult, because that drive to try and stop something which I regard as being negative is just as strong as that drive inside me to help people who are suffering. And occasionally this drive or this instinct can get a little contorted maybe. But if I can try and use that experience even more practically, for other people and for other people's benefit, then my remaining years won't be completely wasted. For this reason, as well as promoting myself as a professional tarot reader, I'm also going to be promoting myself as something called a therapeutic coach. Now, a therapeutic coach works with people over a period of time, helping them to deal with an issue or to try and bring about a certain quantity or quality of perspective about some problems they may be suffering from. To the most part, these things could be to do with relationships, interpersonal connections within the family, within the workplace, or just out and about in society, in the pub, in the local community association, Women's Institute, university campus, whatever it is. And to just try and help people to get over some problems. Therapeutic coaching also has an important personal development aspect to it. It's sometimes said that the healer gets as much healing as the person who's being healed. And so I know that this new change of direction for myself will do me a lot of good, as well as the people I'll be helping. My basic education in counselling, psychology, and the like will come to the fore even more. I will be able to use the knowledge which I've gained from various spiritual disciplines in a rather productive way to help people out, to kind of like force them through the difficult times, to oil the wheels of life, and make things even more effective. I'm therefore, over the coming weeks, going to be opening a couple of new websites. Not immediately. I want to make sure I've planned this properly. I want to make sure that the imagery is okay by my standards. And I want to make sure that it's promoting and explaining the right variety of message. One of these websites will be driven towards the public speaking work I intend to do in the future, and the other one will be geared towards therapeutic coaching. So, from this moment forward, Nick Dutch will probably be a more complex but easier to define character for you people out there. And as a result of that, I think you'll be able to better see where I'm coming from. And I hope to be able to do more good to more people with the passage of time.